meeting in order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer.
Here.
Trustee Carter.
Here.
Trustee Grant.
Here.
Trustee Tate. Yes. Trustee Todd.
Here.
Here.
Item number 4, approval of minutes.
Mayor, I'd call for an executive session, please, for matters of personnel. I move that we have an executive session for matters of personnel.
It was moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Tate. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate.
Yes.
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
And me, yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, motion carried. We'll be back. going to reconvene. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brewer.
Here.
Trustee Carter.
Here.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate. Trustee Todd.
Here.
Trustee Zupan.
Here.
Motion carried. Approval of the minutes. I'll accept the motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for June 27, 2017. I'll accept the motion.
Mayor, I make a motion, we approve the meeting minutes with the caveat that the clerk do a listening to a second separate audio recording to the meeting that took place, given a question that I have with the written minutes as they stand. That's my motion.
There's a second.
So.
The motion has been put before the board to accept the minutes for June 27, 2017 with the necessary corrections that were recommended and put in place. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate.
No.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion is carried. October 3rd, 2017. I'll accept the motion.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Brewer, second by Trustee Zupan. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate.
No.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes. Motion is carried. I accept the motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for August 14th, 2018.
So moved.
It was moved by Trustee Grant, second by Trustee Carter. Are there any questions?
Got a comment. I'm sorry about this. I didn't look. On page 3, can you, where it says she spoke as the last paragraph, is that supposed to be Trustee Brewer? Is that it with correction? Page 3. I think you're talking about me. 13-page collector's report. And she said she, and you said you started off with she. Yeah, so you translated.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee
No.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll accept the motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for August 28, 2018.
Mr. Mayor, I would move that we remove these minutes from tonight's agenda. Because there are numerous issues with them.
Is there a second?
Repeat that.
I move we remove the August 28th, 2018 board meeting minutes from the agenda due to there being numerous issues with them that were not corrected in time before tonight's meeting.
I do.
Moved by trustee Zupan, second by trustee Carter, that the minutes of August 28, 2018 be removed. Madam Clerk, please.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate.
Yes.
Motion carried. I'll accept the motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for September 11, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Zupan, second by trustee Grant. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Zupan.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Carter.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Tate.
No.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Public comment. All questions and comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of Sauk Village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for 3 minutes and may not engage in debate or counter replies or rebuttals. I will answer all questions at the end of the comments. Will you step up, please, state your name.
Pat Couch. I can speak loudly. Since we're just coming back after a hiatus of several weeks, I don't know why these minutes were not corrected prior to tonight's meeting. I would think that they could have been, but that's another issue, so I just find a little issue with that. My big issue is, again, and I've already spoken to the chief regarding my problem with dogs running loose. Now, this particular dog has been brought before this board numerous occasions. Trustee Zupan, who is on our safety committee, knows about this dog. The dog is still running at large 4 times in 1 week, about 2 weeks ago. They've jumped my fence now numerous times. They've broken my fence to try to catch their dog, and it's going to be very difficult, which the chief and I just discussed, how to get this dog captured. Since we have no dog person to go out and capture a dog, I think we need to address this issue. For instance, last week there was a police officer that was attacked by a pit bull on the north side of town. Now, when it's going to be affecting our police officers and they get attacked by a pit bull dog and he has to shoot the dog, something needs to be done about these dogs that are running at large. Not only this pit bull, but the one behind me is the one I'm concerned with, but there are numerous dogs every week running loose. The police department does not have all the equipment they need to corral these dogs. And I'm working with the chief, or whatever he needs. I told him I'd buy him a noose to catch these dogs. But you've got to have a certain size noose to catch these dogs. These are big, muscular dogs. And when a police officer has to shoot a dog because it attacks him, then I think the village needs to step up and do something because of that. The shots being fired, we hear it every day. There are shots being fired. That's another issue that needs to be addressed in our village. And I want the chief to know, whatever he needs, if he needs help from the citizens, we need some help from the public to get these dogs taken care of. It's nonsense, a village of our size, to have this many dogs running loose, no licenses, no fees paid to the village. That's revenue that could pay for those nooses. Thank you. Judy Cast.
1 moment, please.
I'm here to,
1 moment, please.
I'm sorry?
1 moment, please. And I'll speak all at your time.
I'm here to question the fact that somebody's going to be appointed to an official position tonight, when this person was not sworn in or done legally in the first place. How can you redo her in the second place? It takes the entire board to approve bringing somebody in. This was not done. And now you want to advance her even further, even though we've had questions over and over and over, and you refuse to answer them. And now you're going to appoint her to a definite position, and I have a lot of questions on that as to why, and about the background check and all the things that you told me. Not a problem, I'll get them to you. Well, as of today, I never saw any of them. None. For any of the hires. And I'm talking not just about one, but all of the hires that you had. The village board did not approve any of them. And we've gone over the videos. The videos say I'm not lying. And anybody that wants to sit up there and accept it for what it is accepting lies. And that's not what this village is about. If you can't do it right, don't do it.
Linda Washington. A couple of things tonight. First of all, I want to say the last meeting that we had, because the ordinance for social media has never been adhered to, and the staff continually go on social media attacking the residents, I stood at this podium and I went Facebook Live, which means that everybody in the entire world that has internet saw that meeting. And I am pleased to announce that I had over 3,000 views that saw that, the phone calls that have come to my house and that have come to my phone because of that live video recording. Usually if there's something going on, you try to take care of it in-house. I want to make it known that I have came to the mayor's office over the last 2 years and asked to see the mayor. I have talked to your secretary, Mary Clark, several times. She's taken the message that I wanted an appointment with you. You have refused to see me over the last 2 years to try to bring some kind of reconciliation and work with the community, the different programs that we were doing. I have also contacted the mayor's office about new programs that I wanted to do. I had absolutely no response. And some of it may be you, Mayor Burgess, and some may be the people that advise you. Either way, shame on all of you. Also, I want to say that when Trustee Linda Todd resigned from beautification, and people asked who's going to take over that committee, you said, well, it falls on the mayor, it falls on me. When Trustee Bernice Brewer was removed from the seniors committee, and they asked what trustee is going to be over that seniors committee, you say, well, I'm going to be overseeing the seniors committee, that falls on me. When Trustee Jones relocated, and they asked what was going to happen with Parks and Recs, you say, well, that's going to fall on the mayor. I'm going to be doing that until I can appoint somebody. That fell on him. Unfortunately, Housing Commission has never been appropriately handled since Gary Hogan was over the Housing Commission. And so the village, all of these committees that we had that was up and running and vital are all complete failures as of today, and I think that's a travesty. I think that that's a travesty. None of these programs are up and running like they should be. You understand that there's an open gym. What is open gym? The gym is open and people are just in there. They get up all, they're playing. Who's supervising them? Do they have background checks? Who are these people that's overseeing the open gym? How does the community know about it? I want to applaud the clerk for posting the deputy registrar's class that's going to be at the Nancy McConaughey Library. That is a public service that residents have privilege to come and become a deputy registrar. The Democratic Women of the South Suburbs also posted it in other entities throughout the South Suburbs. and she got scolded, I hear, on Facebook and wherever else for doing her job. I want to applaud you, Clerk Marva Kimball. Keep on doing what the people appointed you to do, letting them know about things in the village that's going on, regardless of who's hosting it. You have a great day.
My name is Zenona Ayers, and I am addressing this administration and the residents. I come to these meetings week after week and month after month, listening to the residents asking the mayor to help stop these hateful and personal attacks on the residents who at times disagree with your agenda. These attacks come from your friends, your employees, and your own family members. My husband, Harwood Ayers, posted a rebuttal to all the negativity and hatred that continues to be posted on various social media sites against individuals who once again disagree with the mayor's agenda. Shortly after his rebuttal, my daughter called her father crying, sharing a post on social media from the mayor's own daughter. This is what was posted. Erica LaShawn, I hope this auction in line gets a knot. FR, FR, for real, for real. No pity for a heartless, ungrateful, half-dead MF. How can anyone have so much hatred as to wish death to a disabled senior and a veteran? I'm sorry. To deprive his family of the 49 years that we have shared together. There is nothing that my husband has done to justify such a horrific response. The mayor's ongoing silence to address these problems shows he is complicit to the ongoing rhetoric. I also have a copy of the media post from Erica LaShawn Burgess. No comment needed.
My name is Carl Hutchison. My wife and I live at 22513 Yates Avenue. The block of Yates from 225th Place going west to Jeffrey Avenue has 22 homes on both sides of the street. Over the past 2 years or so, there have been, that I am aware of, including my own house, 8 home break-ins, with the most recent one occurring this last Christmas Eve. And that house was also broken into just a week before on December 14th. That makes a total 9. During the first break-in of the house at 22517 Yates on December 14th, my next-door neighbor's house, I was stepping out my front door around 4 p.m. to take my dog for a walk. Excuse me. It was then that I saw 2 teenage males standing on the end of my neighbor's driveway by the street. They were wearing those white dust masks on their faces and hoodies with the hoods up. I thought that was a bit strange, but it was cold out. As soon as they saw me coming out of my front door, they both took off running in 2 different directions. One heading up 225th Place, the other going west on Yates. Then 3 other males started to come out from the driveway side of the house. One of them immediately headed west on Yates, going towards Jeffrey. The other one also went up 225th Place. The third one, before he started running towards Jeffrey Avenue very fast, said to me, "I have a gun." To me, the one who threatened me with a gun only appeared to be about 11 or 12 years old. Then I looked up the driveway and saw a broken window and yelled out, "I'm calling the police." At that point, one of them yelled out, "Are you talking to us?" as he was still running away. I yelled out, I know where they lived and where they were going. Most of the neighborhood is aware of where these kids live at and or hang out at. One of the houses is on Yates Avenue, the other house is around the corner, a few houses down in Jeffrey. These kids have been seen going up driveways of houses during the day when no one is home. And when they are confronted by a neighbor or someone who sees them, they say they are just looking around. I've seen them going down the sidewalks or street and taking their time standing and looking all around someone's property trying to see what they can see. The next day after the break-in that I interrupted while I was walking my dog that day, 4 blocks away down at Clyde and Yates, 2 of the teenagers that hang out or live at these houses were walking down the middle of the street, bouncing a basketball and talking and laughing. As soon as they saw me and my dog on the sidewalk, they both immediately pulled their hoods up over their heads and turned away from looking in my direction. The one holding the basketball, which they had stopped bouncing back and forth, wouldn't even look in my direction. The other one, every couple of seconds, would very slightly turn his head and look in my direction as they continued walking. At this time, I have not yet told any of my neighbors about my coming to this meeting, but every time I leave my house to run an errand, my wife is worried that one or more of these kids are going to see my car gone and try to break in. I'm not naming any names or addresses of the people we suspect being the ones who are doing this. I do not want to have any kind of legal action taken against myself or any of my neighbors. Pardon?
Go ahead.
Oh, any of my neighbors, if I or we mention the suspects' names and addresses. When the police responded to the December 14th break-in that I interrupted, they asked me if I knew which way they fled. I told them that I know exactly which house they had gone to, and when I told the officer, he said that, yeah, we know that house. So what can be done, what can be or is going to be done now? Because the people on this block and maybe other blocks are wanting something to be done.
Well, parking their cars, blocking their little garage doors so nobody can get in. Instead of parking the walkway and driving their motorcycle.
Good evening. Happy New Year to the board and staff and residents. The first thing I'd like to say is I attended the funeral for Sandy Kazi, and I was very disappointed that nobody from the village in an official capacity was there to read any type of statement thanking her for her over 26 years of service. Not only her, but her entire family. Very, they spent a lot of time at the community center. It hurt my heart. I also see that there was no moment of silence for Sandy. For those of you who don't know, okay, because a lot of don't, history is important to a lot of us residents, and Sandy Kazi is a piece of Sauk Village history. She needs to be, some kind of way, remembered for everything she did. There's a lot of residents who feel that the community center, the gym, should be actually dedicated to her, because she is and was Sauk Village as we know it at its finest. And second of all, before the last election, there were town hall meetings held at this village hall every month by the current mayor as he was a trustee. Several months ago, it was mentioned that we need to bring the town hall meetings back to Sauk Village. At that time, you don't have a 3-minute time limit. At that time, the mayor, every time he held a meeting, said, you can talk about anything you want, for as long as you want. And before you leave here, you will get answers. Because at these meetings, we're held to 3 minutes. At these meetings, we don't get the answers that we always are looking for. At the end of the meeting, we do get some answers. We don't get all answers. I think that we have 3 months before the next election where we could possibly have a town hall meeting every month for the next 3 months. I don't see a problem with having them after the election, because town hall meetings are meant to bring the residents together to talk about the issues that we're having. We have a lot of issues in Sauk Village. They're being swept up under the rug, and we don't act like they exist, and the next day something else happens, and then we remember them again. The shootings, the dogs, the fire hydrants, Sandy Kazi, things that are important to the residents. When are we going to start realizing it's not just about this? It's about that. It's about the 10,000 people out there. It's about the 3,500 homes out there. It's about our children who don't have anything to do. And when Sandy Kazi was alive, that didn't happen. She worked with the mayor's Parks and Recreation Committee. She ran that committee. She created programs. She maintained programs. She got people to help her with those programs. She got her entire family. Everybody who got up to speak at her funeral were family members. And every single one of them talked about how hard they worked with Sandy to make our children better, to make our community better. But not one person from the village was there in an official capacity. And I'm sorry, that broke my heart. I would like to see something done for Sandy Kazi. I would like to see some type of dedication for that community center gym, because she kept that gym going. Those programs stayed alive. They would be alive today if she was alive. Thank you.
Kathy Betcher. I just have a couple of questions. A month or so ago, maybe a little longer, Marva brought a gentleman here that had proposed an arts program. I would just like to know if Trustee Carter has reached out to him. He was willing to work with our children for free. That sounded like such an awesome program. I'd like to know if we're going to get it started, and if so, when. Second, have you hired somebody for the part-time position for the community center that you spoke about? I haven't heard any more about it, but we have been on a long vacation. Third, have you started the process for hiring more policemen? We really need policemen. I am going to come up here every week and beg for more policemen. Maybe if we had more policemen, we wouldn't have the problem of, they could let me see, I'm losing my train of thought here, sorry. They could enforce the ordinances that are in place already. We have signs that say, don't walk in the street. But we got people walking in the street, and then we have hit and runs where people are killed. How about if we get more police to help these guys do what they need to do? They are being overworked and underpaid. He can put that on his page too.
Mary Escobedo, I'm here also to address social media, because you, Derek Burgess, should know that I was one of your biggest supporters, and when somebody attacked you and said something about you, I was always there to defend you. So I didn't appreciate what they wrote about my friend, what your daughter wrote on Facebook about my friend, and that's not the first time he was attacked on Facebook. The first time was by your wife on Alvinson's page. Anyway, you need to do something about that, because it's really shameful. Not only that, there have been texts to people about when they have deaths in their family, nasty texts. Those are just really just evil. And you really need to address that, even though, again, I'll say it again, you won't, because the people doing it wrote the speech for you to sit up here and tell us we can't talk about social media, but you say you can't control your employees or your family. And it's okay for them to talk about the residents, again, that put you in that seat, and you're not doing anything for them. So, I just want to leave you with some food for thought. If you have to hurt other people in order to feel powerful, you are an extremely weak individual. And that's for your employees and your family.
Rachel Eastman. I just wanted to come up today to say thank you very much to Miss Clerk Marva Pewitt for hosting, I believe you're the one who hosted the basket giveaway. It was very lovely. My family and I enjoyed all of the things in the basket, and it was just a nice get together, and we truly enjoyed the basket. So I just wanted to say thank you for hosting something like that, and for all that had helped her. Thank you so much, and it was a huge blessing for me and my family. So thank you very much, and have a blessed day.
Okay, in regards to the dog problem, And that's ongoing. I mean, we do not have a dog catcher at the moment. The police officers are trying to do what they can. Right now, we're trying to concentrate on other things, but as far as other crimes that we have, but when we do see dogs, we try to find a way to corral them. Your comments did not go on deaf ears. The chief is here. I'm sure he wrote some things down. As far as shots being fired, I don't know, I'll say this every week. It's a shame that we have to live in a society, not just here in Salt Village, that people ride up and down the street and shoot other people. But every police officer in the world, if they came and said in Salt Village, is not going to stop shots. People are going to shoot. It's unfortunate that it happened, but that's happened. What can we do? Hopefully we try to deter it, but we can't stop the person if he wants to shoot at another person, unless we're right there when it happens, and who can throw the dice to figure out if a person's going to be right there when that person decides to pull a gun out and shoot. Most times when they do shoot, it's a cowardness thing. They're doing it because they don't want to confront the person, so.
Police presence. It's a deterrent.
I did my best to, and I will continue to do my best to explain. But if you're going to yell back and forth, I won't answer people's questions. I'm telling you, ma'am, that I'm not going to go back. You do this every week. I'm trying to explain what it is when people came up and used their 3 minutes to ask questions. I'm trying to explain it to them. So I didn't interrupt anyone. I didn't interrupt not one person when they expressed what it is that they wanted the village to hear. And I appreciate that you don't do that when I'm trying to explain what it is a person got up and tried to give their thoughts and their comments. As I stated before, you can have every police officer in the world to be here in Salt Village. Will they stop a shot? No. But we try to make sure that we have police that are out there visibly, and they have been here recently. So that being said, I'm hoping that, and it starts at home. Believe it or not, it starts at home. So if a person, the shots coming from somebody, most times they may not even live here in the village. A lot of times if someone comes from another place, comes here and shoots someone. It's unfortunate that happens, but those are the times we live in, where people don't take matters, they take guns and try to solve their problems. But I'm not going to sit here and try to preach to someone about why another person shoots another person. But it's unfortunate that that does happen. As far as the question about a appointee, legally appointed, I mean, if a person is in an interim position, that's what that means. They're filling their position until such time they're voted in by this board. So if a person, I don't know what it means to be illegally appointed. I've never heard of that, but I mean, that comes up. So I really don't understand that. As far as social media, I do not answer social media questions because we can go back and forth on that. And it was stated that a person came to my office for 2 years and I didn't see them. Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I saw them in the hallway a couple of times. They didn't say anything. So I don't understand that part, but most times I'm here. I'm not here all the time because I have village business to do. It takes me away from the village. But if you're coming to just criticize each and every time and make a scene, no, I won't see you. I'm sorry, but I will not see you if that's what you're coming for. If you come for a legitimate reason, there's no problem. It's something that you have a problem with in your home or on the street, that's no problem. I would do that. Mr. Hutchinson, I do have your statement. I will pass that on. The chief is here. He heard everything, but I'll pass it in writing on to him so he can actually see what it is. And I appreciate you comprising that statement. It's very thorough. I appreciate that. It's something that we already know, but at least we have something. And it takes a lot to just you. It takes a lot for other residents to come forth too. the police cannot do a lot on just seeing someone or hearing someone. A lot of times when you confront a criminal or whatever, somebody has to come to court and somebody has to file a complaint. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? That person goes free. Because there's nobody there to file that complaint. So if people like yourself will be willing to say, hey, I'm tired of it, this is what goes on, and this is what's happening, that's what we need. We need people that can do that, come forward, because you can't be scared in your house, and you shouldn't be scared in your house.
My neighbor just moved in there in September. He got broke into twice before December by the same people.
Okay, so we will, sir, we will, I promise you, and before you leave, put your phone number on that paper so we can get back with you, but we will take care of that. The next one, I kind of take exception to, because this person I really did help, enjoyed her. She's one person that, when I first became trustee, a lot of people were kind of against me for whatever reason it may be. Had a few people leave on the department when I was in charge of Parks and Recs. But this person, Sandy Kazi, was right there for me 1,000% up until she was kind of forced out, and I'll just put it that way, and I'll leave it alone because I'm not going to go back and forth with that. But I was at her visitation. I couldn't make the funeral because I had another obligation. But I did come there. I did talk to the family, and I expressed to the family what they wanted to say, that no one came to the funeral. I didn't tell anybody that they had to come. That's a volunteer thing. But I knew Sandy, even after she left the position as Parks and Rec chairman for the Parks and Rec, she did start a lot of stuff in the village and kept it going and kept it up until she was asked to leave. So I didn't ask for a moment of silence. I apologize for that. Like I said, I've known her ever since I got into politics in 2005 and 2006, and she was an integral part with raising a lot of people's children out here and have a lot of programs before I even got here. So yes, she was a very important person, and like I stated, I wasn't at the funeral, but I did go to the viewing, the visitation. And it's something to look at. The community center right now is named the Pazel Center, but doesn't necessarily have to mean that there's something else can be named after her, and I'll take that into consideration. As far as the program for the person that was coming in, I haven't heard any more from that person that wanted to be a teacher, a program. And as far as hiring someone part-time for the public works, for Parks and Recs, we do have a gentleman that's doing volunteer right now for the gym. The application is still out there for a part-time. It's still posted, so we haven't gotten anything yet, but we're still hoping. But right now the gym is open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 4 to 6. Hire more policemen. I think I stated this right before the holidays came. We were going to do that. We're working with the chief about how we're going to make it happen. But as I stated before, we're going to go into that direction. First of all, we got to get in and take care of other things that have to be taken care of first before we start adding to it. So that's what we're at right now doing. And that's about all. I'm not going to say any more about that because, we will be hiring, I'll put it that way. We will be hiring police officers. When it's going to happen, there's nothing happen overnight, but things have been put in place. And also, I'm sure the clerk is going to mention, but as far as the Christmas giveaway, it was a success, and she'll mention more of that too, and I really appreciate her doing that. And I was there for most of it, and it seemed like a lot of people did come out and get the items that were given out to them. Okay, with that being said, we'll go to item number 6, the mayor's report. I have a few things that I wanted to bring to the board. First thing I wanted to bring is about 2 months ago, we received a letter that there was going to be an award that was going to be given to, at the time, our village treasurer, and that award did come, and the award states, the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada present this certificate of recognition for budget preparation to Judith C. Sufton, treasurer of the Village of Sauk Village. This certificate of recognition for budget preparation presented by the Government Finance Officers Association to those individuals who have been instrumental in their government unit achieving a Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. The Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, which is the highest award in government budgeting, is presented to those government units whose budget are judged to adhere to the program standard. This was dated November 1st, 2018. So I want to present this to our, now it's our interim finance director, Ms. Judith Sufton. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, next item I have really comes from the state and the county, and it's for expungements. If anyone's looking for an expungement, they're having a class at Markham Courthouse, 163rd in Kedzie, Wednesday, February the 13th, 2019, from 9 to 12. This is a program that they will assist you or assist anyone that needs to have an expungement or a sealing process taken care of. There's a phone number on here, and it says, please bring your wrap and disposition sheets with you. You can get your wrap sheets from the CPD, which is called the police department, and your disposition sheets from the Cook County clerk's office. So I have this information here. I'll have it on the back, and I'll have it at the Village Hall. I just got it the other day. So if anyone, you know of anyone that needs to have this done, please have them to come down and start the process. It's a process, but the cost of this is free. Okay. The next item I have is the confirmation of the interim finance director, Judith Sufton, to become our finance director. I will ask for a motion.
Second.
It was moved by Mr. Trustee Carter, second by Trustee Grant. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
No.
Motion is carried. Okay, that being said, Ms. Sufton is now our finance director. Interim part has been taken off. Next item is reports of officers. Village Clerk, Ms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And if you can please forgive me, my report is going to be just a little bit lengthy today, because there's quite a bit that needs to be addressed. First thing that I would like to do, though, is to just sincerely thank the mayor, as well as Trustee Zupan, who operated on behalf of Sauk Village Municipality, along with our community partners, as we produced the most glorious afternoon, evening for our holiday cheer. Our people came out. Last year they just came, thought they were going to get their little food baskets and leave, and were just a little tad upset that we endeavored to ask them to sit, listen to some music, eat some food with us. This time they came ready and willing to sit and to fellowship with fellow residents, and we had a marvelous time. We had a number of volunteers who just came out of the woodwork that helped us. Jules in South Chicago Heights provided 65 food baskets, 4 complete food baskets. And we didn't know about that until that Thursday before it happened. Strack and Van Til provided 50 bags of food. Our community partners, our schools, and our churches, we all rallied together to provide support, service, and fun for 123, exactly 123 of our residents and families of Sauk Village. So those of you who were here and participated, I do applaud you as well, and we say thank you. The only thing I would like to see, though, next time, because, marketing for anything is very, very important. You need it on the front end, and you need it on the back end. And all I'm going to ask of anyone who decides to use social media, that as you write on something, be fair. Be fair. Know that I do absolutely nothing for the recognition. However, it is so disingenuous when you write on something that I have coordinated and I'm the only name not mentioned. That's ugly. And we, as a community, must stop being ugly. Another thing that you're going to see a little bit later, and trustees, this is for you. Under accounts payable, you will have an opportunity to see and to approve the payment for the funds that I spent on behalf of Holiday Cheer. And that's all I'm going to say about that out here. But know that at our very next executive session meeting, you all are going to hear from me, because you all were unresponsive to my need of you. But I'll do that behind closed doors.
Go ahead, Mom.
I'm going back to the beautiful day, because I want to end this on a positive, okay? We had a young man there. And this young man, he had to have been maybe 10, 11 years old, but I'm so old now that everybody looks real young to me. But he said, "You're giving all of this food away to all of these people here. Why can't you give it to the homeless?" And his mother looked and smiled, and I said, "Well, baby, if they are homeless, they would have no way of preparing this food. because all of this has to be cooked. And you know what he said? Oh, I hear what you're saying. So then why not let's do a dinner for them and invite all the homeless in for dinner. And I'm like, oh, young man, that's a good idea. And everybody at the table thought so too. So a number of people have already agreed that they would assist if we were to do a dinner for those who are not just homeless, but less fortunate as well. So we thought that maybe we would do that for Thanksgiving, and then at Christmas time, still have the Christmas baskets as well. Now, you guys have almost a whole year to assist me and the village and the other community partners with planning it. Don't sit on us this time. I will be calling on the senior committee also, because they did a very nice luncheon or dinner not too long ago. So we need to partner and bring you in as well. That ends that. Now let me talk about election authority and the updates for that, because that's what's going to really take some time. And so I'm going to try to do this in 5 minutes, I promise, Mr. Mayor. In terms of my functioning as the election authority, know that the candidates filing for the office all filed their paperwork. We had absolutely no objections to any of the petitions. So I applaud all of you for allowing people's effort to maintain itself and to let the people decide who they're going to vote for, opposed to us other people trying to knock them off the ballot. So you're to be applauded. The calendar for the upcoming election is on the village's website under the tab for the village clerk, but I did, you know, I'm just a sucker for you guys, so I made some copies, and they're in the back too, that's going to lead you day by day in terms of what's going on between now and the April 2nd election. Know that there is a two process that's required for me to certify the ballots. I have certified all of you who are running for office for the first prong of what they're asking for. The last one has to be done, I think, on the 24th. It's the same document, and I just have to submit it again to make it an official document. Right now, yesterday I had to file the unofficial one. One of the responsibilities of an election authority, and that is the person that's representing our municipality, is to promote voter registration and to make certain that all of our residents are informed, educated, active participants in our electoral process. I'm going to do that job. I'm going to do that. And so even though I just don't see where and how I can do a deputy register training to get our people in Sauk Village recommissioned, because everybody's commissions across the state of Illinois expired November the 30th, so we all have to be recommissioned, and that will carry us from December 1st of 2018 through 2020. However, there is a deputy register training being planned on January the 31st at the library. I'm going to ask that you go ahead, figure out who you need to communicate with, and if you were a deputy register, you are one, please get recommissioned, so that you can lead voter registration drives and assist people however they are needed. Even though I cannot conduct a voter registration before April 2nd, and I know that I just really can't, I will work on a deputy training for next year. However, I do plan to host a voter registration here. I want to remind the candidates that there is a candidates forum being planned for March 16th.
I'll give you a heads up, not certain if it's going to be here or at Prairie State. But please mark your calendars because we want to hear your platforms and what your plans are as you are promoting yourself to serve us. A while back, and a few times now, I have asked about an election canvassing policy for Village Hall. I know that I've asked for it at least twice, if not 3 times. I am appealing to trustees to provide that again so that we know exactly what's permissible here in the village. We need it to be consistent. I don't want to do anything, I don't want to see or allow anything to take place that is outside of a policy that you guys were charged with developing. So can you help me with that? I would greatly appreciate it. Another thing that I need from the trustees, it's that time of year again where you have to fill out your statement of economic interest, but I have until February the 1st to send your information to Cook County Clerk's office. So if you are a new hire or in a new position, I need your name, address, phone number, and we're not talking about 21801 or 21701 or whatever. We need your home address and your home phone number and your home email, because if you do not fill it out on time, they need to be able to contact you so that they can get that little $15 if you are late completing the paperwork once they send it. And so if you're no longer here, they would not be able to get it. Does that make sense? Last thing, I would truly like to thank Trustee Beth and Trustee Todd, Trustee Zupan and Trustee Todd for your assistance with getting these minutes in a manner that is suitable and truly reflective of the meetings that we had on those particular days. I truly appreciate you and thank you. And Mr. Mayor, that completes my report.
Thank you. Village Engineer, Mr. Jim Zarnick.
Thank you, Mayor. Just 2 quick things. We are revising the contract documents for the elevated tank riser replacement project to be rebid in February. And then secondly, we're also nearing the completion of the design for the I-394 water main crossing replacement project. And this project should be ready to bid in late February or early March. And that completes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can you remind us, Mrs. Sarnak, where these funds are coming from to design the I-394? Where these funds are coming from?
Those are TIF funds.
TIF funds? And approximately how much? TIF 4, right?
No, that's TIF 2.
TIF 2?
And approximately how much? I think it's $150,000.
150,000. Okay, thank you.
For Departments, Finance and Administration, Ms. Judith Sutton.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. The team has been working diligently to close the books up to December, and we expect to be done before the end of the month. And as I close the books, I will be meeting with the mayor as well as each department head to review where we stand compared to budget. In addition to that, the prior year audit is in process. The auditors are awaiting the meeting minutes, so I'm sure they'll be very pleased that we had so many meeting minutes approved today. And they've been working directly with the village clerk on this. Another item to note is that we continue to move forward on automating our processes. Since October, we've had 3 students working with us from Bloom Township. These 3 students have been helping us to digitize some of our records. They have been digitizing the 2017 invoices as well as the business licenses and contractor licenses. They've also been learning office skills such as helping to answer the phones, as well as filing documents and other such responsibilities. And we've been very fortunate to get 3 outstanding students who are responsible and eager to learn and eager to do more. In addition to that, we've been streamlining our daily balancing process, where once it took an hour to balance each drawer, it now takes 15 minutes to balance each drawer, where once it took half a day to combine the balancing of all the drawers, it now takes approximately an hour to balance in the morning. So we continue to move forward on that front. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
I've got a quick question. First of all, can I have a copy of the report? But I noticed that we're not getting our reports like we used to. The billing and usage summary, the aging report, cash balances. The last time I received anything was the end of November. And that used to be sent to us, emailed to us, like twice a month. So can I get copies of what we have from November forward? Well, the last one I had was November 30th, so whatever we have forward from there.
Okay.
Thanks.
I have a question. Ms. Sullivan, can't hear you. Well, I haven't said anything yet, but we just recently got a check. Well, I recently got a check from Chase Bank, and the money was for the stipend that we generally get for trustees every month. And that money was drawn off Chase Bank. Can you explain to me how, do we have an account with Chase Bank?
No, we do not.
Well, how did we, how did you get, well, where's the money coming from? Was the money deposited into Chase, and how did the money come, how does it come about we get a Chase?
ADP has a relationship with Chase Bank. So we transfer the money to ADP, and then ADP pays or has that drawn down for each employee.
That was part of our trustees agreed to?
Absolutely. That was part of the agreement with ADP.
So every month we're going to be moving money to Chase Bank?
Every pay period.
Every pay period?
Yes. Now, I'm sorry, not to Chase Bank, to ADP.
To ADP?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I did get an agent report because I asked you for it today. But on the agent report that you provided, is dated January 31st. There's no, on the list, there's no, there are only 2 payments on here, and it doesn't show where it was paid, or anything was paid on the agent report.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Let me show it to you. Secondly, when we, if I'm not mistaken, we generally approve payroll, accounts payable every pay period.
Yes.
But we got this accounts payable, and the money's already been distributed.
For accounts payable, it has not.
I didn't get it, I just got a check for...
You got it out of payroll. You did not get it out of accounts payable. None of the accounts payable listed in here gets distributed, gets signed until the trustees approve this.
Okay. So in that case, then, at this point, do I ask you about accounts payable?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Trustee, I have a question. You made a statement that you got in the agent report dated January 31st?
It's dated January 31st, 2019.
It's actually dated as of the date I run the report, and it reflects all of the outstanding invoices as of that date. So what it tells you is what's outstanding that has not been approved yet by the trustees, and that was the way it was designed from the beginning. That has been given to the trustees for, I don't know, maybe over a year now, prior to even me being here. So that reflects everything that was input into the system that has not been approved by the trustees. Once you approve it, if I run it the day after you approve it, it's going to be back down to 0. So it's a very important report with very important information that tells you what's outstanding. And that's exactly what an aging report is supposed to do.
Okay.
My question is for the accounts payable report. On page 1, I don't know if they gave you a copy. Okay, I just need to, generally, All Place Community Bank, we paid them $5,000. Is that for 2 cars, or how many cars is that for?
That's for the loan on the cars, both the police cars and the administration cars. The other part of that payment, this is just the portion for the administration cars. The other portion of that payment is under the, let me just see.
It's on page 5. So we paid 2 for the drug seizure fund.
Yeah, the drug seizure fund, sorry.
And 1
Yep.
for the administrator.
Yep.
Right, okay. I needed to know that.
And again, we have not paid it. It will not be paid until it's approved by the trustees, and then I will cut the check and send it to the bank for payment.
Okay. All right. On page 3, it says Village of Linwood, and we paying a rental fee and firing range in the amount of $1,000. What is that for?
That's an agreement that the police chief has made with the Village of Linwood to be able to have usage of their firing range. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Chief Malcolm White?
Yeah, currently officers are using either private ranges or driving all the way to Joliet to qualify and do training. This way it'll be right next door. That $1,000 covers the next 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. There's, I gotta go back a look. That must be on the agent report. On the agent report, I don't know where I saw it at. They're paying for airbags. I have to skip over that because I don't have the note here for me. But thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, and then I want to say, you're here. We appreciate your help, whatever you did, but I would like to know when we're going to start getting some reports.
I will get that on there. It's been a challenge.
Well, I understand it's been a challenge, but we have been asking for reports away since August. And how are we supposed to make informed decisions if we can't get reports? I understand it's not November. We need to do something about it because we're supposed to be voting out of the money, but how can you make an informed decision if we don't get any reports?
Right, and I haven't been in this position since August, so that would have been the previous finance director. So I understand that. I just want to make sure that I clarified when I started, and it was not in August. So I will, we've had staff turnover. I think that everyone recognizes that. I do think that we're putting in place the right processes going forward, and we are prioritizing. So I understand that there's a good need for information, and that will be taken care of.
I don't want to, but we've been promised that since, I don't know, forever. And we just, we just don't get what we need in order to do this. So.
Well, you've gotten the information that you previously got from the previous finance director, so I'm going to be happy to put that up again, because that's something that you have received.
Okay. We'll see.
Fire Department, Captain Dennis Setterwick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the period from December 5th through January 6th, we had 28 calls. This is one of the lowest numbers we've had in a long time. I'd like to thank the residents for their fire consciousness. Again, the residents did keep our wreath red. The wreath that we hung on the station with the red lights stayed red throughout the holiday season, which meant that we had no house fires during that period. So again, thank you to all the residents. Our ISO rating has come in. We went from a 4 to a 3. So that is a great improvement. We would encourage residents to check with their insurance companies. The ISO rating affects your insurance rates. So because our rating has improved, your insurance rates may go down. So again, check with your insurance. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Brian Kripe. Brian, could you please stand? Take your hand up. Brian was a member of our department for many years. He joined the military, and now he has returned. He would like to be sworn in again to return to the fire department. So at this time, I would ask the clerk to please swear in Brian Kripe as a firefighter. And that will conclude my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Yep. Next, Police Department Chief Malcolm White.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the period of December 12th, 2018 through today, the police department received 853 calls for service. During the same time period, the police department made a total of 15 arrests. One case of interest on the 30th of last year at approximately 6:40 p.m. We responded to a gunshot victim in the 22300 block of Clyde. We were able to determine exactly where it originated, where the actual incident occurred, which is in the 1700 block of Salt Trail. The victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are still investigating this and following several leads from that. So, that ends my report.
Thank you. Public Works
I
Director.
have a question. Officer White, I understand we just made a MOU in regards to the prisoners, but I don't remember. Do you recall, or maybe I just don't remember? Suppose we don't have, it's $800 a month. Suppose we don't have any prisoners doing that month. Do we still have to pay them that month, or is it just, you know?
It will reoccur every month.
Regardless of how many.
The chances of us not having prisoners.
So,
Extremely low.
okay.
It's okay. We arrest people. Nothing else, we don't arrest people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to back up a minute now. Emergency Management Agency, Director Alan Zambrit.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Last month, for the whole entire month of December, EMA responded to 26 calls of service. We had 3 gas leaks, 7 accidents, 5 alarms, 1 search, which was a successful search. Person returned home. We had 1 car fire. We had assist to Crete, assist to Illinois State Police, and assist to Cook County Sheriff's Police on 3 occasions. We did a funeral escort, 1 CO alarm, and 1 odor investigation. So far, the month of January, we responded to 4 calls of service for 2 accidents, 1 dryer fire, 1 CO alarm. As you can hear tonight, there's been a lot of high winds. We're under a high wind advisory till 11 o'clock this evening. Make sure your stuff is secured at your house, otherwise it's going to blow around. Thursday, the 10th, we have our monthly SMART meeting with all the EMAs. It's going to be hosted by Rich Township. Saturday, April 13th of this year, Sauk Village EMA has been invited to the 6th annual EMA training conference that's going to be held over in Hanover Township. There is a fee for the attendees. And Hanover Township has some upcoming training events set up with FEMA starting in February. There's going to be a tornado awareness. March, there's going to be a fire service vehicle operation course. May, there's going to be a routine emergencies where they have different scenarios. May, we're going to have a standard awareness, and in October, we're going to have a winter weather preparation. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works Director, Mr. Kevin Weller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A few items here since last year. We had a water main break at 2045 to 18th Street. Come to find out it was a saddle at the house. That's the service line connected to the house itself. The saddle rotted away. In the process of digging that one to do the repair, the one next to it from the house across the street was in the same condition, so that was repaired at the same time. This is an ongoing problem on the north side. All the saddles are eventually going to fail, so we will be doing a lot of work on that side of town. Staff also repaired a B-box located at 21847 Clyde. It was to a repair in a house, a leaky valve that had been replaced by a resident. Also, we had some questions and some complaints from the last board meeting about some leaf pickup and some of the program that was going on. The weather caught us in November, so it pushed us behind. We had some other emergencies that pushed us behind. But we did get the Republic Services to come out 2 more days in the end of the year and then once in the beginning of this year. And all sections are completed, and the sweeper made a final pass through all those sections. So any piles that are put out now, they have to be raked back, or they may receive a ticket. Staff will be taking down the Christmas decorations in the next week. With the wind here, we may not be up there doing it, but it'll be in the next week. The tree is left. We did take down the reindeer this morning. Public Works staff has also been doing a lot of in-house work from the fire department, from the village hall here, Public Works, plumbing, lighting, some heat work, some cleanup. We also, on December 22nd, had the carpet cleaned in the building here, so if anybody looks around and notices a lot of the stains are gone, if they do find anything, please let us know, and we can have another pre-treatment done. Staff has also been out since the last report, and in this year, they've been doing a lot of pothole patching with the warm weather conditions, potholes on the streets right now. Any cars that hit an open area, that tends to open up the pothole area or any soft area in the road, and it creates a pothole. So they have been on the north side and the south side of town, and they have done some work in the industrial park, Pace Center. These were the complaint areas. Also, staff has been out in the last week. They are starting to cut down the trees in January here. We're going to try to do our best to get as many good days we have here, but they'll be cutting down all the ash trees or the dead trees. We have cut down 3, 22432 Strasburg, 22452 Yates, 22455 Yates. We will continue as weather allows and as time allows. And just a side note, With the wind going on tonight, we're definitely going to have some branches out of the trees, so we'll have to take a look around town and see how the complaints come in, whether we'll post on the marquee for a special pickup if anything is major. If not, we ask residents if they don't have to put it at the curb, please just stack it in a pile and wait till the first pickup in the spring. Staff members also have been picking up trash. It seems to be an ongoing problem. Not sure if it's garbage cans, garbage trucks, residents, or whatever, but at this point right now, it seems like we're doing it on a regular basis on 223rd Street and Torrance Avenue. A lot of garbage. I'm not sure again what's coming, but please close your lids on your garbage cans and please dispose of it properly, not on the street. We've had some issues with some street lights. We're currently working on some, I would call the easier working stuff, the overhead or above ground stuff. The underground wiring is going to be a little more difficult to take care of because there's a lot of obstacles. But we have repaired 4 street lights at this point. One is 223rd Street in Torrance. That was the arm and the light that fell off in a windstorm. That's been repaired. 22321 Murphy. That was a rotting pole at the ground. That pole's been replaced and everything's been put up and the light is working. 22233 Brookwood, same thing. The pole rotted at the ground, broke off, pole's been replaced, light is active. And the last location is Clyde and 218th, right in front of the park over there. During a windstorm, the arm ripped out of the pole arm has been replaced, and the light is active. Last item is staff is preparing the 3 air strippers at the main station to be cleaned. This will be the first time since they've been installed. They are actually pretty good condition right now. They will be offline during this cleaning process, but we have to take them apart. We had to buy some parts to do that, and those are parts I've ordered, and some of them have come in. So in the next few weeks, we'll be starting that process. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Economic Development Director Joseph Wiswise.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Happy New Year to all. Mayor Burgess, Village Engineer Jim Zarnick, Public Works Director Kevin Weller, and I met with Cook County Department of Highways and Transportation, the Illinois Department of Transportation, South Suburban Mayors and Managers, and the engineer from Gas and Wash this afternoon to discuss the future improvements at Sauk Trail and 394. We are coordinating this effort as a multi-jurisdictional projects tend to move slower and can fall off track. Marco Transportation has submitted plans for expansion, which are currently in review with the building department. As this was a jurisdictional project, the MWRD issued a permit on the project, and village engineer Jim Zarnick has green-lighted the project to proceed. All liquor licenses have been renewed and approved before January 1st. A notice was also posted at the front office that the application for reoccupancy permits will increase to $75. This increase will help with the village's effort in raising our property maintenance standards. We made an application to the Illinois Housing Development Authority for another $75,000 grant to help with demolition of some homes in the village for this year. The village has not drawn down all of the funds from the 2018 grant. However, our grass cutting program will continue with our current contract under the terms of the original contract. So those terms will continue moving forward. We don't have to relet that project. We have adequate funds available in the grant from 2018 to cover this year's grass cutting effort. I will be meeting with Jim Zarnick and Director Weller to discuss upcoming Invest in Cook grant application and see what kind of projects that we might have eligible for that grant in the next round. We have posted a position for an assistant to replace the part-time position vacated in the building department in 2018. The individual will provide administrative support and will be responsible for, among other things, assisting with activities within the department. Anyone interested can submit a resume for consideration to Village Hall in person or online at hr@saukvillage.org. As a final note, which was not on my report, I just wanted to point out that we will be discussing at our next Committee of the Whole meeting re-putting the RFQ out. As you know, we only received 1 response, and we would like to receive at least 3, so we can proceed with that. So we'll be redoing that whole thing next week that we've already done. That concludes my report.
Okay.
Question?
Go ahead.
The RFQ you're talking about is in relation to?
I'm sorry?
The the RFQ that you're speaking about is in relation to?
Oh, I'm sorry. The RFQ that we put out was for the Logistics Center engineering study, so for the Invest in Cook grant.
Okay, so the question I had though was, as you were talking about the remaining funds from this past summer's grass cutting grant and what's left for 2019's grass cutting, are we going to put a new RFQ out there for this coming summer to hopefully get more responses and potentially get a new or different audience of landscapers in response to maybe get a different landscaper this year?
Right. The original contract called for an extension of for an additional year. If that's the board's pleasure, we can do that, and I would recommend we do that now.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
If that is the board's pleasure, we can move forward with that. If anyone has any reasons why they want to do that, then let me know, and I'd be happy to put the RFQ together. We can discuss it at our next committee meeting next week. But I'd like to move sooner on that rather than later, so we're not starting late in May. We're starting at the end of April or around that time.
Can we put it on next Tuesday's agenda then?
To discuss?
Yeah.
I have a question. You indicated that the mayors and the managers, they had discussions on future improvements at South Trail and Illinois 394. What kind of improvements can you elaborate on that?
Well, what we're going to be doing is working in collaboration with the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways to look at and evaluate and do a study. So as that is a state and a Cook County highway, they would be taking the lead on that project. The village would not. So we're trying to coordinate it because we see that there are some definite needs that are there now and will be in the future.
So the money is going to come from the car wash. We won't be using any of South Village money. You know, what you do this when the study goes through.
Right. So Sauk Trail, as you know, is a Cook County highway. 394 is a state highway. So both of those have no jurisdiction, you know, of the village other than the fact that they're in the village and they affect, you know, our businesses and residents. So any money that would be coming for those studies would be coming from those jurisdictions.
From the state, you said?
Either state or Cook County.
Okay. Before you guys go, those that gave reports, could you kindly make sure the clerk gets a copy of the report if she doesn't already have them? That everyone that didn't give a report, give her a copy. Reports of trustees, standing committees, and comments. Public Service Committee, Trustee Bernice Brewer.
Mr. Mayor, and to the members of the audience, according to the billing and usage statement that I got from December 1st to December 31st, we had about a little over $2 million in the bank. However, because we can't get any reports, we don't, well, I should say, I can't determine what's being paid by the employees, their fringe benefits, or either their overtime. We need to know what bills are going to be paid. I understand there was a problem with getting the village and usage statement, but if we got over $2 million with a balance of only $574,000 left, that means that some things hadn't been used in there. So we should be able to have reports to tell us what's been used in the water fund, the sewer fund, and utility fund. And since we can't get that report, we can't make really honest decisions about the kind of things that we need to be looking at without reports. That's why I want to emphasize the point that we need to start getting those reports in so we could make informed decisions about what's going on with the finance. Anytime you could say that they got over $2 million in the water fund, but only $574,000 $574,000 left. Something's been used in there, and we need to know what it is. And we should have a breakdown of what's these itemized, a detailed ledger on what's been used out of the water fund. That's a very important part on how our finances should go. I understand that we're using a lot of the money. We can't tell if it's been transferred or anything, interfund transfers, because we don't have that information. So I want to put it out there because I've been trying to get information like that since August. But we need to know what's going on with our finances, and we can't get that information unless somebody gives us a report. So I understand that we had new people, but you got to think about it. You know, how can we make informed decisions if we don't have any financial data? And that's the only thing I want to comment on. So, I mean, I can't really make a decision because one of the reasons I asked for all this report because we were thinking about the money that was given to raise the sewer rates. I don't know how much money's in there. Can't get the report. So you might want to, you know, we want to look into what's going out there, what we're doing with the finance, because I, as a trustee, don't know. That's the end of my report.
Is that a report or a comment?
That's a report.
I'm sure.
That's public service. That's part of my job, to find out public service. And one of my things is to find out what the money is in order to get this, the different projects done for,
Trustee, in regards to...
And excuse me,
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Mayor, you don't have to debate or rebuttal for me. That's my report and my comment, so, you know.
But you made a statement.
That's my,
that you couldn't get, and I was trying to comment on what you made, the statement that you made. So you're saying that you're going to, are you saying, trustee, that you're going to say, and then I can't answer your statement?
I didn't ask you for a statement.
You didn't ask me for it?
I'm asking you for a comment. I'm letting you know we can't get these reports. We need the reports to make an informed decision.
So you don't want me to comment on your statement?
No, all I want is the reports. You know, I want no debate or...
Budget and Finance Committee, Trustee Roderick Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to say congratulations to Judy on that award. It takes a lot of work to do that budget each year, and I think the last time we did get that award like over 15 years ago. I do have a question for you. Whatever happened to that wish list for those department heads? Like, did they ever get it to you? Did they put something together? I think you said the police chief or Kevin Weller was supposed to do something. Did you ever get that?
I just got the police, and I'm waiting on the numbers from ESDA, and everything else has been turned in. So we will be meeting with that, and I'll let you guys know what the money is, how much money they're talking about, and I'll let you know where and how it's going to come and where it's going to come from. As far as the list is concerned, just like budget, they're asking for X amount of money for their departments to do whatever, so it's up to the board to grant or not grant whatever amount it is that they're looking at, and then we can go over the amount for each one of the departments that are looking for money to upgrade their department. They haven't had it done, I can say, in the last 10 or 12 years. So, but yes, that list is, I'm waiting for one more entity. Person gave me what he wanted, but never had any prices on it. So I've got to wait and find out what that is, and then I'll present that to the board, and we'll do it at a committee meeting.
Okay. And then also, I just want to let everybody know, committee meeting on the 16th, and for this meeting, I plan to talk about a plan that I want to kind of have for the expected revenue that we'll receive from the new gas and wash. Just a few ideas I want to bring to the committee, and then hopefully bring to the board later date.
So you want to have a presentation?
No. This is my committee meeting. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's your meeting. Okay, yes, it's your meeting.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going to have it at his committee, not.
Just
the clerk has asked you to just get it off.
An agenda for the expected revenue that we plan to receive for the gas and wash on 394 and South Trail.
And you're gonna talk about it at your
Committee meeting,
at your
yes.
budget and finance?
Yes.
Okay.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Trustee Grant, I just have a quick question. Have they done a 6-month review on our budget? Usually around halfway we go through the budget to make sure they're on track.
So, Finance Director says that by the end of this month, she'll have November and December closed. She'll come to the, she'll have a meeting with the mayor, the department heads, then she'll come to the board, and a committee meeting is kind of lay out where we stand at the end of this month, hopefully, so we can see where we stand through December.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, I was asking her that same question earlier this evening, and she was targeting early February committee meeting to have that discussion with us.
So, Trustee Grant, she's going to provide us with some reports.
Right, so she'll give us a snapshot of where we stand, the budget versus the actuals through the month of December. She'll have December's closed by then, and she'll present to us kind of where she stands and how we look for the rest of the time period through the rest of the fiscal year.
Okay. House and Intergovernmental Relationship Committee, Trustee Tate. Okay. Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Linda Ty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no report for the ordinance review. We're not scheduled to have a meeting actually this month because the month is basically, we usually do it the first Monday, but we really have nothing as far as ordinances right now to review. And that ends my report. But I have a quick comment. I see back on the agenda, and Mr. Mayor, I've asked you several times, when it comes to community outreach, can you please amend the ordinance so that it reads community outreach
instead of
right. I know, I see you don't have Parks and Recs on there, so I'm assuming we no longer have a committee for Parks and Recs. So we want to amend that ordinance. And also the other comment I have, I know, Madam Clerk, you had stated that you wanted to talk to the trustees in executive session, but I'm one of the trustees that do respond to your emails. So I don't want people to think that none of us respond, because we do. And I just wanted to make that clear. And you're welcome for the minutes, because I do sit down and I do read them. And that ends my comment.
Okay. Public Safety, Trustee Beslupine.
The police chief snuck away on me before I could pin him down, but I just wanted to let everybody know that from my perspective, his honeymoon is over, and I've actually reached out to him to find out our committee. Oh, he is still here, so he really didn't escape me yet. Our committee generally has met the first Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. here in the Rotunda, for those of us who have been here for those meetings. And so I've reached out to him to say, okay, since your honeymoon is over, is that time good for you, or do we need to reconsider our meeting times? So he and I are going to have a chat about what time works for him, and he's shaking his head. He's like, yeah, he acknowledges I have hit him up about that. So once he and I can pin down what time is best for him, we're going to figure out if that's the right time, or if we need to come up with a new time for the committee to meet, and then do a reset on the committee, and then start picking back up and start to pick up with our meetings again in February. So next meeting I will have a time and date, whether it's the first Wednesday or a new time and date for everybody. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Item F, Parks and Rec / Community Outreach. We will have to work on that here soon, very soon, that we can get that changed over and amended to say Community Outreach. Anyway, report from Trustee Ronald Carter. Okay. Reports of committees and commissions. Senior Advisory Committee, Chairman Mr. Emmett Farmer.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. Really don't have a report. Today, just want to let everyone know we are having our first Senior Advisory Council meeting of the year on this Thursday at 5 o'clock in the Senior Center. And all are welcome to attend. And just want to give a big applause to our clerk, Barbara Pruitt, for that holiday cheer. And we look forward to working with you on that Thanksgiving food giveaway. All right. Thank you all.
Mr. Farmer, is your board filled? Or are you still looking for board members, or?
Now, our board, well, not quite all the way. We have an interim vice chairman right now. The rest of the positions are filled. But, so we are gonna be actually putting in a permanent vice chairman, or voting on a permanent vice chairman soon, within the next couple of months.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Farmer, we need one more.
One more calendar?
You know what, I had two guys.
Oh, there's another one here. Okay, new business. I'll accept the motion to approve accounts payable dated 1 January the 8th, 2019. I'll accept the motion. I'm sorry. In the amount of $517,108.10.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Grant, second by Trustee Carter. Any questions?
I have a question. Mr. Mayor, on page 1, we have all these expenditures from Amazon Business in the amount of $395.34. It seems like every pay period we spend a lot of money on supplies. Do we have any idea why it seems like it's costing a lot of money for Amazon Business for supplies?
I mean, this is for supplies, not just for the stuff. I mean, office supplies for all over. So $395 in a month. I don't know I cannot attest to that because it says office supplies, so and front office and office supplies. So.
Do we know what we buy?
Yes, I mean, I don't see the receipt, but I'm sure the receipts are there, and it also shows what's being brought. Yes.
Okay. Well, we can't. This is not to be facetious or anything like that, but I can't get any copying paper, so I'd like to know where is that at? Copying.
What do you mean you can't get any?
Well, I said there's none out there, and then.
The copy paper should be right there, and oh, okay. I was just told it's right across from the copy machine, right underneath the postage machine. That's where it's located.
Oh, okay. And also, my second item is I still I'm sorry. The salary for the amount for Dr. Strotter in the amount of $2,966.50, and also the one for $1,700 for union negotiation to be removed. These two things, Dr. Strotter has never been approved by the board, and I thought we were under mitigation right now. So I'm wondering why we're still paying for union negotiation to be under mitigation. So I'd like to know what's going on with that. And the third thing I want to know about is Andrew Vaughn. They charge him a hotel expense for $219.76. Can you tell me what's that for?
What is that under?
It's on page 3.
What is it under?
General Fund Police Department. You must have got some kind of professional development or something.
He must have, I think he went to a seminar.
Okay.
And the village paid for it. As far as Dr. Strotter, I don't know why you keep saying every week that she wasn't voted in. That was last year. And as far as union negotiations, that's ongoing. We have one aspect you're talking about is just one of the many negotiations that are ongoing. We have three different unions really that we have to deal with, so.
She's not having mitigation, she's not under mitigation now.
Mitigation
She's,
is one particular
arbitration, I'm sorry.
One particular thing.
Which one is she doing now?
There's one particular arbitration that she's going through, and that's dealing with the police department.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about what it is, but it's dealing with the police department.
Okay, on page 4, the annual air pack inspections, can you tell me how many air packs were inspected?
No, I can't tell you that because I don't know how many air packs it was that they were brought.
So these are new ones?
These are new air packs that have to be done every so often. And you do know what the air packs are for.
Yeah, I know what that's for, but it says they're doing an inspection, so I'm wondering why, if they're new, why are we doing the inspections? They're new. That's the end of my comment.
Any other questions?
I just have a comment. And it's come up and I brought it up several times. And it has to do, Trustee Brewer says that we did not vote for Dr. Strouder. We did, but we didn't vote on 17.45 hours. I provided you with proof with what we voted on. When I have my paperwork, I keep all my paperwork together so I know what we voted on. And we only voted on 17 hours. There was nowhere in there did it say $6,000. Now, I know you provided me with some information. I know that Dr. Strouder probably typed that up because that's not what we had in our packet. And if I have to show you again, I'll be more than happy to provide you with what we voted on. So when Trustee Brewer is saying we didn't vote on it, I think what she's meaning is we did not vote on 17.45 hours. And that's the end of my comment.
Okay. Did you look at the rest of that sentence? Did it say approved or approved by the mayor?
I will show you. It never says anything about $6,000 or 17.45.
I didn't say that. I said.
So, in other words, then, when we voted on 17 hours on that statement of work, then you can go in and you can just change that. Is that correct?
It said,
without coming before the board.
17.45, and that didn't.
No, sir, it doesn't. But I will give you the information.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
No.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
No.
Motion carried. A resolution. Are you through? A resolution established the 2019 dates and times of the official meetings of the Village of Sauk Village corporate authorities. I'll accept the motion for that resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Zupan, second by Trustee Carter. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
Yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Motion carried. An ordinance establishing and implementing a program to change the mitigation rates for the deployment of emergency and non-emergency services by the fire department for services provided or rendered for the Sauk Village Fire Department. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Carter, second by Trustee Zupan. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
Yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Sauk Village and Linwood Police Departments for the housing of prisoners.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Carter, second by Trustee Grant. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Zupan?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer?
Yes.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Tate?
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Y'all want to stay here?
Second.
It's moved by trustee Carter, second by trustee Grant. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried.
Yeah, I did read that.